How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with The Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at American Conjuring. This is from 2016, directed by Dan Walton and Dan Zachary, and stars Darren Matheson, Lynn Csontos, and Eliza Faria. Now, not gonna lie, right off the bat, this isn't a great movie, and I mean, you could probably tell that. A direct-to-video horror movie you never heard of called American Conjuring, as if the original Conjuring wasn't set in America? Yeah, I don't get that. And it is pretty much what you'd expect. A micro-budget horror movie that, in general, doesn't work and doesn't really have anything super special behind it. But I do want to say it's not the worst thing ever. I've seen a ton of micro-budget, direct-to-video, find them on Tubi. I've seen a lot of movies like this, and a lot of them are about this quality. Some of them are even worse, because, sometimes they're just a lazy factory film. But this movie has a little bit going for it. There are a few random sparks that do kind of work, amidst what mostly doesn't. But I will say, the color grade in this movie, it actually is fairly decent, so that's fun. Some of the shots, when looked at as stills, they come off okay. And the location, that's pretty cool. A big haunted house in the middle of nowhere, but the idea that it was like a former orphanage, so it's way larger and, a little less homey than normal. And the exterior is, got these weird circle windows on it, so it looks a little different. And the idea that your family would move into a place like this that's too big and needs repairs and is all creepy and isolated, I mean, that's a fun setting to start out from. And the plot does move along at a steady enough pace. But the thing is, and let's start off with the plot, while it moves along at a steady enough pace, it ultimately doesn't really go anywhere new or interesting, and it's a super generic, uninspired plot. I mean, tell me if you heard this one before. Stepdad brings his family to a new house that he got for way too cheap, and surprise, surprise, it's haunted. And then he's even out there chopping wood, and then he goes crazy. It's the Amityville formula. And actually, I've been watching a bunch of micro-budget Amityville mockbusters. I had to remind myself several times throughout this movie that I wasn't watching an Amityville movie, but honestly, this should be Amityville Conjuring, because it's much closer to Amityville than a lot of the real unofficial mockbusters. Real? Unofficial? What am I talking about? But anyway, the plot's cliched, nothing really super special happens, but really what kills it is how they handle that last Amityville element, the father going crazy. Ideally, it should be a gradual process. It should be horrifying watching someone you should be loving and trusting slowly start to turn evil. It doesn't scale here. Instead, it randomly flicks on and off, where you'll have scenes where the father comes in and he's a-okay, happy, average, everyday Joe, and then randomly he'll just lash out in anger, and the actor's not great, so the anger always feels forced and awkward, and he doesn't even really stand out because the rest of the family acts this way as well. I was wondering if it was even going to be the dad. My sense of plot structure was like, it has to be the dad. But honestly, most of the family acts this way most of the time, randomly fighting with each other and then randomly not. It's so messy. And the scares also don't work. Like, you have a witch and she's got creepy witch makeup, and I will say the makeup is done pretty well, one of the film's highlights. How they use the witch doesn't work. Like a scene where the daughter runs up the stairs and goes down a hallway, and then from that hallway the witch pops out and just kind of looks at us. I mean, yeah, the witch looks scary, but it's not scary. The tension's not there, the escalation. I don't care about the character, so I'm not pulled in. And then some of the scares are like, that's it? We're supposed to be afraid of that? Like, characters will make a big deal when a ball rolls in the basement, or a rocking chair rocks. That's actually super important. But it's a case of I'm watching the movie knowing it's supposed to be scary, but feeling absolutely nothing. So at the end of the day, it is a micro-budget horror that doesn't have a lot going on for it. It does have good witch makeup, good color grading, and an interesting set, and it's not the worst thing ever, but I can't really give this any solid recommendation or anything. I guess in order to analyze it further, let's dive deeper into the plot. I'm not going to do any major spoilers, but I do want to kind of analyze a few things, break some stuff down, and talk about what doesn't work, but I'll be avoiding the end bit, so no major spoilers. But anyway, we open up in an orphanage. There's a new orphan that all the other orphans hate, and on her birthday, they trick her into the basement. An evil witch ghost appears, and now she's got a knife, and she's all possessed and ready to do some murdering. So, little girl killer to open up the movie. Okay, that's fun enough. We'll find out more lore about the orphanage, something about a woman with a miscarriage and then goes crazy, kills people, and then herself. It's just a generic thing, whatever though. We'll cut to the present day, and we get to see this contractor named Teddy. I guess the writers were Bob's Burgers fans. And he's there with his girlfriend, and they're getting a bit of character development. They're gonna buzz off until the end of the movie, though. But they're there, they show the family around the house, and then the lady that used to run the orphanage gets to play Crazy Ralph, and Teddy just turns evil and chases her away, and it's super jarring and abrupt. But whatever, it's too early to tell them to leave the house, and they get settled in. And it's a fixer-upper, but we don't really see too much fixer-upping. That could have been interesting. Give us a scary sequence with an electronic saw? No, they're just gonna kind of fight with each other most of the movie. As I said earlier, it's the big problem with the dad. He's supposed to drive the tear, but it always just feels awkward with him. So you have the stepdad, and then you have the mom who has no character development, but when the dad's evil and we've been following him through most of the movie, she randomly turns into our main character. I guess she kind of was, but boy, is there not really much to latch onto. The daughters are more interesting. You see, the older daughter, she actually was from a previous marriage, and the stepfather chased her real father away, so she resents him, but has to call him dad. That's kind of messed up. Also, the younger daughter is the child of the stepfather, so she has this girl who's a sweet, innocent kid, but the older daughter just kind of sees her as a symbol for what ruined her life. This could all really drive some drama, but it turns into nothing. The older daughter should have been the main character, with the father poised as the villain and her having most case to resent him. We should really be following this older daughter, but she could easily be written out of the movie. We should be following her, she should be the main character, and instead, she does nothing but randomly show up, yell at people, and that's it. Then we get the little kid, and that's a confusing part of the movie too. The younger daughter will randomly be all creepy, because, you know, kids see ghosts, think, oh boy, let's be creepy now. The thing is, when you show us the orphanage scene at the beginning of a killer kid, you think that's what we're doing. We're doing an evil kid movie, and she draws all her creepy drawings, but she's not the one to get possessed, so why are we having her be evil? I mean, you could have her be like Danny in The Shining, where she's like ominous and losing herself to psychic powers, you know, and she does seem to predict the future with these drawings. That's not what we get. We just get a character who's not evil, just being evil. And I kind of wish, what if we had two antagonists? Make it a father-daughter murder duo. I haven't seen that before. But no, just random, unplaced evil. Whatever. Like I said, when they get in the house, the hauntings aren't anything spectacular, and it's a whole case of, wait, we're supposed to be scared of that? And they'll happen randomly to a few people, and we'll mosey through most of the movie and get the standard, oh, I think we should move out. No, I've sunk too much money into this place. You know the deal. I will say, when it gets to the end, it does heat up a little more, but it randomly focuses back to Teddy for a while, and we have a clear lack of a main character because we've been following the dad most of the time, and now he's evil, so I guess we're just following him being evil now. And I won't spoil the ending here, but it is an out-of-the-blue, stupid ending that just comes from nowhere, and it's like, this is what we're doing with the movie. And I'm like, well, I didn't see that coming because you didn't set that up, and it's super dumb, but at least the movie's over. I've been kind of waiting for it to be over. Overall, it's not a great movie. I can't recommend it in any sense, but knowing how bad these direct-to-video movies can be, there was a little effort, and a few things actually did work. So it's not the biggest non-recommendation. It's okay enough for what it is, but it's forgettable and nothing super special, and I can't really recommend it. But whatever, it is what it is. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. If you guys want to see more, you can click right there and see more. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.